Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 101.9 FM and Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's Mike and the Mad Dog on the Fan. Nothing can get by 'em. Turn it on and try 'em.
Mike and the Mad Dog, WFAN.
Good afternoon, everybody, on this Friday, and welcome. Michael, good afternoon, pal. How are you today?
What's going on, dog? How are you?
I'm doing well. Nice to hear from you. Lots to do. You and I now have a little fun for a while on this busy Friday afternoon. What's been the big topic here? What do I need to know now from a New York? What has been the big topic in New York this last 4 or 5 days here?
Well, Rose.
Yankee lineup.
Well,
injuries.
yeah, a couple of things. Should the Yankees be buyers or sellers?
Good one.
No, that's a big one.
Yep.
Should the Yankees trade Miller or Chapman to get what they want? Okay.
I would.
Okay. Yep. And Mets, Reyes. Should Reyes be allowed to come back considering what happened? As a matter of fact, I'd say it hasn't run better than 60-40 in his favor. A lot of Met fans don't want, despite the fact he's cheap and he can help, a lot of Met fans don't want him back after what happened.
Wow. We'll get into that. That's a good one. What else?
And then, obviously, Rose and what that means for the Knicks short-term, long-term. Can they get Durant? Does he attract any other players? Does he have enough left? The idea of Rose coming, and then a little NBA draft, although the draft seemed very boring after two players. It was like a two-player draft. It was like two players. Nobody wants any other player. Everyone trying to trade their picks. And it was like, once we got past Ingram, nobody cared.
100%. Well, you start. Where do you want to comment on first?
Take any one of them.
First, let's do the Yankees.
Okay.
Since I would now listen. You said back in our show there at the Radio City that you thought the Yankees are not going to be good this year.
Correct.
And you were right because I think they should trade Beltran too. They're going to get something for him.
They're getting a lot for him. Cleveland would love to have him right in the middle of their order. I mean, he would be perfect there. Here's the first thing. The Yankees will not be sellers unless they are at least 6 games behind the wild card, second wild card. If they are any closer than that, they won't be buyers like they weren't last year. They're not going to be buyers under any circumstances, because they're not giving away any of their kids. But they are not going to be sellers unless they really, in the next month, have a bad month. Because if they're anywhere close, if they're 4 games out, 5 games out, I don't care if there's 8 teams between them and the wild card. They are going to stay in it. Right now, they're 4 games out of the wild card.
So the Yankees are going to be right at Mike. The Yankees are going to be right at that number.
I agree.
They're going to be right around 4 to 6 out, and they're going to be probably a couple games under. Or
then they have to decide what to do with Beltran, what to do with somebody in the bullpen, whether it's Chapman or Miller, guys like that. I mean, they look into fortify. I think Cashman wants to sell. He wanted to sell 2 years ago. They wouldn't let him. So that's really, it's almost not like the Yankee way, dog, to admit defeat. They don't want to admit that the season's over. Plus, they don't want to have the Mets playing in front of 45,000 in August and they're playing in front of 20,000. I mean, they don't want that to happen,
But by the same token, Mike, everybody's going to want those relief pitchers.
Yes,
the Cubs,
everybody. Cubs,
Texas,
Giants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Texas,
the Nationals. How about the Nationals?
Every one of them. And they all want Miller. They're smart. Miller's the best one. They all want Miller. They all want Miller. And the Giants are interested too. From what I understand, the Giants have been very interested in Miller also.
As they should be, as the Giants. I tell you, if I'm the Yankees, I try to get Schwarber from the Cubs.
That's who everybody wants. That's who I want. I love Schwarber. I think the Yanks do too. He'd be their next Tomey. I mean, that's what he would be. He's a perfect DH for the future. And I don't know if Teixeira is going to come back this year or not. You could almost throw him in a pennant race if he ever got hot. Although his home run totals have just been so poor this year. Beltran's had an MVP season. He's been unbelievable. If you put him in the middle of the lineup for the Cleveland Indians, he would make a big difference. He really would.
The thing about Beltran, he got chained to an American League team.
Yes, he's got to DH some. Absolutely. He has to DH some.
I tell you, Texas has a lot of prospects, too. They can use some helping out.
No question.
The Yankees, if they're smart, they're going to they got to trade. I wouldn't want to trade Miller because I love Miller. I would prefer to trade Chapman.
Giants have good prospects?
They never usually do, The Giants prospects are who you have right now. Duffy came out of nowhere to play third base. Crawford, nobody loved him. He's turned out to be a hell of a shortstop. Everybody thought Panic was a decent player, not this good. Belt just signed, so forget that. So I don't know where those prospects are. And remember, they bought the pitchers. Samardzija, Cueto.
No, they did a good job. They're doing well. I mean, listen, the Giants are smart. I mean, they're always a smart organization, and they're having a great year. I mean, there's no question. You're way out in front. You had a very good year.
Oh, the Giants going to make the playoffs.
No question. No question. And then now Reyes. Reyes is the next one. Reyes is not an on-the-field issue because, listen, the Mets can't get a guy like Frazier for another month. They can't get a guy, and they'll be in on Frazier, they'll be in on Longoria, they'll be in on those guys, but they can't get those guys for another month. Right now, they need immediate help. They need some energy. They need some excitement and offensive enthusiasm. They need someone to play third base and let Flores be the utility man. They'll sign Reyes, but they're getting a lot of They're getting a lot of backlash, and Reyes is going to have to come back, and he's going to have to say the right thing and do the right thing. Otherwise, they're not going to bring him back. And I think the Mets are very concerned about the backlash.
Well, one triple might eliminate that.
A little bit, but you know what? There's a lot of people. A lot of Met fans are upset. A lot of them are upset.
That's really now. Listen, how about the Cuban kid? Aren't they going to work him out?
Yes, but I don't know what a price tag is. Plus, he's 32, and they said he's not as ready as they had thought. He's not in as good a shape as they had thought.
He's a month away. So if they sign him, they got to sit tight for a month.
And then they can they might be able to get Frazier in a month. And
they might.
Or they could get Longoria in a month. And there might be guys like that available in a month, and they'll be willing to go out and get a guy. But right now, Reyes could be there this weekend and, be there for a month, bat, lead off, give him some energy, give him some speed. And even
play
if he's
second and move Walker
well, they're talking about him playing third. And leaving Walker alone. Reyes has agreed to play third if they want him to.
The Mets are a strange team. They really haven't gotten their pitching organized day in and day out this year.
No, they've had a lot. They've never hit on all the cylinders all year.
No, they haven't.
No. But the good thing is they're not that far out. They're not that far out.
And the Nationals have helped them. The Nationals have played barely the last 5 or 6 days here.
And then Rose. What do you think about Rose?
How do you not like that trade? Now, listen. I don't think you would know better than me. I'm out watching Bulls basketball on a day in, day out basis, but I find it hard to believe the Bulls are smart. There must be things about him.
Well, he and Butler didn't get along, and he's a hard guy to deal with. And you know what the Knicks did? The Knicks took a chance because he's only got 1 year on his deal. Right. And the Knicks hope that they're sitting here in next February, and people are saying, do you sign him for 4 years because he's had a great year? And you hope at 27 he has a big bounce-back year. That's what you
100%. No, but I don't think they're getting Durant.
I don't think they are either. I think it's a pipe dream. I think if Durant leaves, he goes to Golden State, and I don't think he leaves anyway. But if he leaves, he goes to Golden State, which I think is easier now that Golden State lost. It's easier to go there.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it increased his. I think he's going to stay too. I'm with you on that. We'll get to the finals in a minute. I'll get you. Listen, you cannot argue with the Knick trade. I don't see Jeremy Grant play that much. You do. You want to tell me he's going to be a rotation player?
I don't think he's a big deal. I don't think they gave up anything. I think they're fine in that regard. I think it was.
So Phil Jackson's got to be getting some compliments.
This one was an easy one. I agree. This one's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer. Now tell me about the finals.
Did they like Hornacek?
Yeah, they were okay with that. As long as they didn't get Rambis, they were okay. Rambis would have been a disaster. You couldn't have fed Rambis on the Knicks fans. As long as they didn't get Rambis, any of these guys are okay. And you know what? Rose is also a move away from the triangle like Hornacek was, because that's not Rose's strength. So, now you got a penetrating, driving, ball control point guard. So, it's a different game now. So, you know what? With Porzingis, Anthony, and Rose.
Not a bad team.
That's not a bad team if they're healthy.
And you get a center. That team's a playoff team.
Yeah, it's not a bad team.
And I tell you, I used to love Hornacek as a player.
I know you did. So did I. Yes, a great, wonderful player.
Very underrated. So I think that was a good move. Here's the finals. First off, you'd be surprised. I've been very anti-Golden State because I got to deal with all these San Francisco fans who have telling me about the historical franchise.
Oh, please.
The greatest team in the history of the NBA.
Please.
So if anybody, and I'm tired of Jermaine Green too. So
you actually rooted for LeBron James?
I did.
My God. You rooted for LeBron James?
I did. Very, very hard. And I'll tell you right now, that block shot, outside of Bird's steal against Isaiah, that block shot in Game 7 against, which was a bigger play, was one of the greatest defensive plays I've ever seen in my life.
That block shot with him bone tired, where he said he almost couldn't get the ball over the rim in the last 5 minutes. That block shot was one of the amazing plays in sports history. That was amazing. And you know what amazed me about that game? He was basically exhausted in the last quarter.
Yeah, he was tired. He couldn't score.
He couldn't get the ball over the rim.
But he made those 3 free throws. I was happy about that.
Those 2 possessions, dog. They're down.
Won the game.
They're down. He goes from 87, 83 down to 89, 87 up because he hit 3 free throws.
And made a 3.
And then made a 3. The
100%.
fact that he did that and got him back in front was a miracle. An absolute miracle because he was exhausted. And that's where they won the game, is those 6 points. Because any possession there, when Golden State gets up 5 or 6, it's over.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Those 6 points plus the block
How bad is the loss historically for Golden State?
Listen, I mean, you don't have to deal with it as much. You'd be amazed at the amount of fans.
Have a lot of they have a lot of fans. They have people who call you up and tell you the most ridiculous things in the world, like Curry's better than LeBron James. I mean, which is like hysterical.
I mean, yeah, which is stupid. Yeah, I mean, and Curry had a very bad, and that's 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, he's been bad in the finals. So I agree.
Bad final. And I'll tell you, I'm not a big Kyrie Irving fan, but let's give him
he
credit.
Played well. He was great in the series, and he's a very good penetrating guard, and he hit a great shot.
He's got guts. He takes shots.
Not afraid. Not afraid.
And Kevin Love showed up for a change in Game 7. Wasn't great offensively, but he got some rebounds at least in Game 7.
And Thompson played good defense in the series. And even J.R. Smith in the 7th game made some shots.
Made 3 shots.
That's a miracle. It's a miracle.
I like to see him put a shirt on, but
you tell me this. How dumb is an owner to take the plane to Vegas on the way home? I mean, are you out of your mind? You got a bunch of...
The players probably wanted to do it.
What, were they piloting the plane? No, I mean, take the plane, land it in Cleveland.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought of that.
What are you asking for, taking that plane down in Vegas that night? Take the plane, tell them they're going to Vegas, land it in Cleveland. Land it in Ohio and say, I talked to the pilot, he wouldn't stop.
Good point. I was losing.
Why are you stopping in Vegas? Are you looking for trouble or what?
I'm happy for, I'm happy for that city. That city's a good city. I was happy for the city of Cleveland, and I was good to see the Warriors, who have had nothing but success. And by the way, Green deserved to be suspended because that was an accumulation.
I totally agree.
He should have been suspended in the Oklahoma City series.
But how about this? How about when you learn that after Game 4, that as they walked off the floor, a laughing Curry and Thompson turned to LeBron and said, "The finals are for men."
Oh, did he? Oh, I know they were mad at him
as they leave after they leave the floor down 3-1. The finals are for men.
And Thompson walking off the court in Game 6 with 4 seconds to go, and I didn't see Thompson anywhere near mid-court when they had won a championship there on Sunday night.
So, they learned, keep your mouth closed.
Absolutely. The series wasn't great. It was intriguing.
No, the Game 7 was classic. And to have a team from 3-1 down, first time in history, have it win for Cleveland after 52 years and beat a team that had won 73 games.
Oh, it's great.
This team won their first 24 games in a row and lost their last 3 games to lose a title. That is almost hard to fathom when you think about it.
Good point. Now, I will never put LeBron over Jordan career-wise.
I know you wouldn't.
I would put him. I got to put him in the top
5. I only have 5. I got 5 guys: the big 3 and the 2. Jordan and LeBron, Russell, Wilt, and Kareem.
I guess you have to put Wilt there.
Those are the only 4 guys who have ever won 4 or more league MVPs. Those are the 4. You can't count Russell and Chamberlain for finals MVPs because they didn't have them in those days. The only guys in the league who have 4 regular season MVPs and 3 final MVPs are LeBron, and Jordan has 6 and 6. LeBron has 4 and 3. Those are the only 2 guys. Kareem only won 2 finals MVPs because Magic won 3. Because Magic won 3. So
the thing that hurts LeBron with Jordan, he doesn't shoot the ball great. He's not a great shooter.
No,
he's better physically, but Jordan was such a great shooter.
But Jordan had a role. LeBron does everything. They ask him to do too much.
True.
That's why he has to play defense. He has to stop everybody. He has to do too much. They're different players. He's more like Oscar and more like Magic than he is like Jordan.
But if you were starting a team today, though, Mike, I'd still take Jordan.
I would take Jordan for one reason. Jordan had the will to win that no one else has ever had.
No, he would
kill you. He would kill you to win. He'd rather die trying to beat you than to lose. And that was true. I totally agree. All right, tell me. All right, listen. I know you wanted to thank the fans on the fan and everything here, and then I'll talk to your audience.
You give me information. You give me information.
You talk. Well, yeah. So first, I wanted to come on and say thank you. Yes, because everyone's been the fan, MSG, Sirius. They've all put out large things to have people vote. It's really nice to them. The fans here, Mongo Nation, all the fan bases, all our old-time fans have all gone and voted. So we wanted to say thank you. I know Dog wanted to say it to my audience. I want to say it to Dog's audience to say thank you for everybody's support on this.
And it's a very, it puts the host in a tough spot to have to promote yourself. Do you like the idea of the fans voting?
I understand why they're doing it now. I mean, listen, would I rather just get a thing in the mail that says you're in? Yeah, absolutely. But they're trying to... And I saw Sean Hannity because he and I gave speeches together, and he said congratulations, and he says I hope you guys win, and I said yeah, Sean, I hope you win next year too. So,
yeah.
But he was very nice about it. The point is they're trying to get the fans involved so they know something about the Hall of Fame and they feel like they participate. So they went to this kind of fan voting for the awards, and not every category, but some categories each year, and we're in that category the first year, and hopefully we're in a tough category. So we're up against some big shows nationally, and hopefully we get in.
Did you get the idea that the other hosts in the same category are campaigning as well?
I have no idea. That I don't know. That I have no idea. I can't.
Now, we're not campaigning, but we have talked about it.
No, listen, the fan has really put out stuff. So they've been promoting it. I know MSG promoted it, so everybody who bought tickets got a thing in the mail.
They did.
It's almost like this whole year, Dog, has become kind of like a reunion year. We did that reunion.
Well, you announced your retirement, so once you did that, they were going to do this, correct?
We did this thing with the garden, which went so well, and then we raised $1.4 million for charity that night, which was great. We had a lot of fun selling out the building. We're doing this thing that's going to be on in the future on ESPN. That, as a matter of fact, you and I are both taping this weekend, as a matter of fact. Right?
I'm Sunday.
Yeah, I'm taping tomorrow. You're taping Sunday for this Mike and the Mad Dog documentary that they're doing that'll last sometime next year. And so we're doing that.
Did you watch the OJ? Yeah. Did you watch the OJ?
I did not see all of it.
Mike,
I heard it was great. I heard it was great. It's amazing how much interest there is in that. You remember that night, that Friday night?
I sure do. I sure do.
I remember sitting there. I remember going outside and saying, what is going on here? And then going outside and seeing everybody, around the TV sets out there. And that was the weirdest night, because the Knicks couldn't win it. They had to go back to Houston. And I'll tell you what, here's the thing that drove me nuts, folks. And I'll tell you this. This is Dog in a nutshell. Dog and I are sitting in the first row of the upper deck in Houston for Game 6. Knicks against the Rockets.
Knicks
up 3-2. Sitting next to Evander Holyfield, who's on his 18th hot dog, right? My dog eating like 18 hot dogs. Yeah, exactly. Sitting next to Dog and I. And Dog and I were amazed at how much he's eating during the game. It was amazing how much food he ate. But he was a nice guy sitting next to us, Evander Holyfield. And I'm saying to Dog, we can win this game tonight and get out of here, start our summer vacation. Dog's like, no, we have to have a Game 7. I said, he goes, think about it. We got 3 more. I said, Dog, we got to sit in Houston for 3 days. Let's win this thing, wrap it up tonight. It's
Sunday, Wednesday.
Sunday, Wednesday. We're like, no. Dog's like, oh, no. Dog's rooting for the Knicks to lose so that we have to have a Game 7. We need a Game 7 in this series. I said, no, Dog, let's end it tonight. And Charles Oakley, up 1, takes the ball and throws it the length of the floor out of bounds.
Maybe up 3, but they were winning in the game.
Oh, my God. The worst play. That play stuck in my head because I think the Knicks were about to win. Long story short, we stay in Houston, which is 1,000 degrees, for 3 more days to watch the Knicks get blown out that Wednesday night.
Well, Starks, that's the thing I was thinking about with OJ. If you remember correctly, we were in Houston when we saw OJ for the first time in the court with that black jacket on. And you and I, because nobody had seen OJ because he was on the Bronco and he's been going on for a week. And you and I were so shocked at how out of it OJ looked in that courtroom. Do you remember that?
Yep, I do. I'll tell you what else I remember. I remember Monday being in the hotel after Game 6, watching the U.S. Open, which was in a playoff. Remember? Ernie Els won in a playoff at Oakmont.
I do remember that.
And on that Monday, while we had to wait around, and I remember Wednesday, you and I going into the building at about 2 in the afternoon. It must have been 1,000 degrees in Houston. It was so hot. And we walked in, remember, with Kenny Smith. And Kenny Smith,
he had a bad series.
He was having a terrible series, and you were killing him in the elevator. Killing him.
Make a jumper tonight, Kenny.
And Kenny said, I'm not going to make a jumper. I'm going to make a bunch of jumpers tonight. You can count on it. And Kenny Smith got hot, and next thing you know, the Knicks are dead.
Yeah, the OJ thing, you'd love that OJ thing.
You know, that show they did where Travolta looked scary, where he played
I did not see.
Shapiro. I saw 1 week of that, and, they needed, without Travolta, that thing wouldn't have happened. They had to have Travolta in it, otherwise they wouldn't put up the money for it. So Travolta plays Shapiro, and they made up some stuff to try and bring in the young kids by saying, they made Kardashian's role a lot bigger than it really was, and all this other stuff, because they wanted the kids to connect to Kardashian, okay, who really wasn't that big a part, as you and I remember.
No,
okay?
definitely not.
But the bottom line is that show did so well in the ratings that it's become an OJ craze now, where you can't do enough. Anything you do on OJ gets ratings. So that show did they did like 10 times more than they ever thought possible, and that's why ESPN did the thing, because anything you mention now about OJ, people can't get enough of it.
And remember that we kept on saying it at the time. The Jimmy Breslin quote.
Yep.
You could swim across the Atlantic Ocean before you're going to get a jury in South Central L.A. convicting O.J. Simpson.
Now, remember the other thing, Dog, that I know you remember. You and I were in Yankee Stadium in the
Yankees
afternoon.
Mariners. Yeah, Yankees Mariners.
In the afternoon.
Yep.
And no one was in the stadium except us.
It was empty.
And the center field bullpens were open.
Yeah, I know.
And there was cheering and dancing in the streets. Remember when OJ?
I sure do. You and I were shocked.
The nomination,
I never thought
there was. You could hear cheering in the streets when OJ got vindicated.
I was shocked. I was shocked he got off. You were a little more convinced he was going to get off. I did not.
And
I was shocked.
Remember, we could hear the crowd and people in the streets cheering and stuff.
Yeah, they were all into it.
Man, that was unbelievable how wild that was that day. I still remember that, and you don't realize how long ago that was. It's think about it. 96.
20 years.
96 is the Yankees are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the 90, which is one of the great World Series, the pink Cadillac, the whole thing.
Oh, it was great.
Great for us.
For you, at least.
Yeah, but it was a great thing. The show had a great time with it.
Oh, the show had a great time.
It really did, with the pink Cadillac and the whole thing, and the Yanks coming out of nowhere to win that year, the Braves. But the bottom line is, that's 20 years ago. It's amazing how fast it goes. You know that?
You'd love that, OJ. And how about the USGA with this asinine ruling with Dustin Johnson?
He bailed them out.
He did.
So badly. How ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
If you're going to disturb him not once but twice, make a ruling. You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the point I wanted to make to these people. Why have marshals on the grounds if they can't make a decision? If he already told them you're fine, move on.
That's it. It's over. I don't want to hear about video.
You put the guy out there. Let him have a decision. Don't overrule that guy. Your guy already told him he's fine. Leave him alone.
What a disgrace that was. Oh, my God.
Would have been a disaster. Now, the last time, I blame him for not seeing the thing in his locker that
that's his fault. That's his fault.
It.
PGA. His fault.
That's his fault. I mean, they put a thing in his locker, said you can't ground your club. All right.
He should have known that.
He didn't read it.
He should have known that.
Okay. Yep. He and his brother shouldn't be his caddy anyway. We all know that. All right. He needs a professional caddy. It's probably cost him a couple of majors. That's his business.
That's a good point, too.
That's his business. The guy's a great player. We know that. If he could putt, he's going to win because he hits the ball just so straight and far. It's amazing. But the USGA got bailed out. I mean,
big time.
Absolutely bailed out on that. That was the most ridiculous. And I love that the players were killing him right there.
Oh, they did. McElroy and Spieth, they were all getting all over him.
How much does golf miss not having a Tiger or even a Phil in his prime now to really have someone who has some sizzle?
Yeah, there's no sizzle. And the ratings, I guess, were not great. There's no sizzle. I like Jason Day. He's a great player, but, he's not going to make you watch. He's not going to enjoy it at the set. Spieth's a good... I can't watch Spieth.
Spieth takes forever. He's got to stop. He's got to... Spieth backs off the ball.
I can't watch it.
He drives me crazy. He can't...
I can't... Spieth touches that towel constantly. I can't deal with it.
Stop. How many times does he back off a shot? I mean... It's insane. It's insane how many times he backs off a shot.
All right, right now, who's in the World Series?
I'm going to stick with my original World Series, although I have to admit, I'm not going to take a mulligan. I picked Toronto and the Mets.
Wow, that's true.
I'm going to stick with it.
I had Indians in the Mets. I'm not going to win that
good.
either.
You know why? Indians are in first place.
They got a chance. I think right now I'd take Cubs, Texas.
Cubs, Texas. You wouldn't take the Giants?
I don't know if I would. You could. Giants are going to have a tough series against Washington, though, in that first round. That's not going to be that easy.
No, you can play the Mets.
Strasburg and Scherzer. That's not going to be. I think
I
Texas
want the Giants
is
to play
very
the
good.
Mets in the first round.
Well, I've been there before. I don't need to see that again.
I
You
want
think
the
Mets are gonna
Giants
win
to bring back Bobby Jones.
Yeah, no, please. I sat there. You think the Mets are going to win the division?
No, I actually think it's going to be a good race, and they're going to finish second. And they're going to make the wild card. Host the wild card, pitch Syndergaard in one game, and win the wild card.
How about if they're facing Kershaw in that one game?
I wouldn't
Mets,
want
Dodgers.
to. I wouldn't want to. But I got a feeling it'll be Mets Cardinals.
Mets Cardinals.
And I'll tell you, I'm dead wrong because I thought the Pirates were a lock over this year. I took the Pirates as one of my overs. I thought the number being decreased was crazy. They put the number down at 85. I said, you're nuts. And the Pirates have had a terrible year.
Terrible.
I mean, I got a couple that are already home free, like I picked Atlanta.
Good one.
I picked Atlanta. I picked Washington. I picked who else I picked that I picked Cleveland. But
that was a good one.
I got two bad ones right now, or one bad one. I picked the Mets, which I think they still could get to 90. It was 89. I think they could still get to 90. I picked Pittsburgh, which is a dead loss, and I picked Toronto. I don't know if Toronto will get there or not. They were like 87,
88, 89.
87, yeah.
I have the two good ones, I have Texas over
Good.
and on the under of the Angels. That was a
very good, very good one.
Angels stink.
Very. I had Oakland under too, which was a good one. Oakland and Atlanta under. Those were good ones.
What else
But
do
I
you
have
think?
Pirates. I'm dead.
Pirates are dead. Pirates stink. They should
Pirates
not
are dead
trade.
this year.
They
They're
should
going
not
to be.
trade
They're going to be
McCutcheon.
sellers. They're going to be sellers, though. You know that. They made it 3 years in a row and didn't get there. Lost 2 straight terrible games to great pitchers right in a row. Won 90s and couldn't. High 90s 2 years in a row and couldn't get anything out of it. Now they're going to break down. I don't know. I don't think they'll. You think they'll trade McCutcheon?
No, I don't.
I don't either. They'll trade some other guys, though.
I do.
They will. They'll trade some other guys.
McCutcheon's there he's signed for the next 2 years at a decent price.
I can't trade him.
What else is anything
If you
else?
can get one player for your team, who do you want?
You talking about the Giants now?
Yeah. If you can get one player to help you, who do you want?
Andrew Miller.
That's a good one.
I don't like Casilla.
That's a good one.
I take Andrew Miller.
That's a good one. He's shocked by the Giants?
I'm a little surprised their pitching's been this good. I mean, they got great pitching. I mean, Cueto and
Cueto's done a great job.
11-1.
Done a great job.
Bumgarner at the top of that rotation.
Yep.
And you know the Giants, and you know Bochy's good. You know he's going to do a nice job in big spots. Giants are going to be a very tough out in that postseason. Because you know that they're like the Yankees. They know how to play in this postseason. They're very much like
they're
the
like
Yankees.
the old Yankees, not the new Yankees. The new Yankees don't know what the heck they're doing.
Posey's Jeter. We've talked about this before. Posey's Jeter.
Man, oh man. He wins a lot. He wins a lot.
Let's see if we can win here.
All right, listen. So thanks to your audience and the fan audience been very good. They've been very good at voting.
Mark Chernoff's done a great job.
They've all done a very good job. Good luck.
You too. I'll keep it posted.
Okay, dog.
Very good.
All right, so there's the Mad Dog on Sirius.